In January 2011, Mayor Nancy Sharpe will conclude her career on the Greenwood Village City Council after a 7-year term as mayor. In working for improvements in transportation, development, open space, and regional cooperation, Mayor Sharpe has played an integral role in shaping the quality of life of Greenwood Village in the 21st century. Whether it's attending a ribbon cutting, negotiating at the bargaining table, or conducting city council meetings, her presence will be missed but not forgotten. Mayor Sharpe's leadership leaves stories to tell future generations and precious memories of many triumphs, enough to last a lifetime. Mayor Nancy Sharpe's leadership has always been popular with her peers, right from the beginning of her first day in office.
Nancy Sharpe has been a fabulous leader of the city for the last 6 years. Nancy sat on the council with me prior to becoming the mayor pro tem during my term as mayor. And when my term limits came and I left office, I supported Nancy to run for the position as mayor. And she has just, in my opinion, done a fabulous job. She has taken the city to a level much beyond anything we had ever been at before. She got us very involved on a statewide level.
She is the nonpareil mayor. She is everyone's classic mayor. She is the ultimate public servant. She really, truly does serve the public, and she is the world's best role model. And I think that when the history of the 100 years of Greenwood Village, since we've already had the first 60, is written, she will undoubtedly be one of the great mayors over that 100-year period. She has no personal agenda. Her only agenda is to do what's best for the city, be it those who live in the city, work in the city, and are employed by the city.
I've admired Nancy from day one. She's honest, a very hard worker, had an unbelievable ability to remember all the different things we were supposed to do, not only for her district, but for the city in general. And when she was elected mayor, I was elated. I know she's done a great job. She's done a great job not only for District 1, but for all the different districts in the city of Greenwood Village. Her ability to remember, to bring people together, to get a consensus, it always amazed me. She was much more willing to listen to all the different points of view than I was, and that's a tremendous trait for Nancy.
Many issues were important to Mayor Sharpe, and she particularly enjoyed working on transportation projects, especially light rail, recognizing its importance to the village and the region.
I give Nancy so much credit for the success of the T-Rex project. She was instrumental in coordinating and building coalitions between our project team and the local communities. She was so involved in design issues and financial issues, and she ultimately made it a much better project both for us and for Greenwood Village. And she's worked really hard to form regional coalitions that help us on fast tracks move that program forward and really bring some major transportation improvements to the region.
I think of Molly Brown, and of course the unflappable Molly, and that's I think is perfect description of her talents or her experience and the way she works with people. She's always been extremely active. Southeast Business Partnership and Transportation Management Association, and played great roles in those. And I've never met anybody, frankly, in a public role like that that's better informed, keeps up with a meaningful discussion, and she's a problem solver.
But Mayor Sharpe has always seen issues from the greater perspective, never overlooking the benefit and values to the citizens of Greenwood Village. For many years, she was one of the leading public officials in the effort to solicit funding and get the T-Rex project finished. Often making trips to Washington, D.C., working with other local elected officials. As you know, T-REX transfers to many of the jurisdictions here in the South, and so it required cooperation and coordination with counties and other elected officials. So she was always in the forefront of leading that effort.
Quality of life was a significant reason, the only reason why Mayor Sharpe stood for change and was willing to do something about it. The preservation of open space was an important endeavor to her, especially the Marjorie Perry Nature Preserve, which is a unique place close to her heart.
It was a project that we completed about 2 years ago. In the preserve, there were 4.3 acres that were luxury lots designated so by the developer. If they were developed, would have kind of taken away from the view corridor, and by purchasing those lots from the developer, City Council did a great job in this, of course with Nancy at the lead, and you know, with her steady hand, we managed to put this thing together.
The Marjorie Perry Preserve is a very, very important thing for Greenwood Village, and Nancy led the efforts to make it a special and permanent place. And what Nancy's done is she's made a difference long after everyone will have forgotten us. That will be there for people to enjoy for years and years to come.
Development and redevelopment projects were the most challenging issues on Mayor Sharpe's agenda. Her strategic decisions and ability to work with a variety of stakeholders to achieve a shared vision will have an impact on the economic viability of the community in the years ahead.
When we went to develop the Village Center, initially we found out that we only had one parcel that was really developable to move the village forward, and that was on the I-25 corridor to Arapahoe Road. And just through the years, seeing that concept of the Village Center develop into real buildings has been remarkable, and I know it's because of Nancy's leadership and her collaboration to make that happen. And I appreciate her collaboration in developing the landmark and just the buildings there. It's a great place to be, on a Friday or Saturday night with a wonderful choice of restaurants and a movie theater and wonderful residences.
I think working with Nancy's been an absolute pleasure. She's a phenomenal politician. The city is going to miss her as mayor. I mean, she's an absolutely dedicated person and genuine. She's true to what she believes in, and she wants to serve the people.
Well, we have been working in Greenwood Village for 35 years. I think I've worked with 6 or maybe even 7 different mayors through that time frame. But I've worked with Nancy as much as any of those over the years, and she has a wonderful way about her in terms of defining her vision and then very patiently working through making sure that that vision gets moved forward. And the Village Center project is one that we worked on for a long time, and she understood where we needed to go. We had a collective vision, and with that she was able to simply take that vision and understand what the process was to get things moving forward.
During her tenure, Mayor Sharpe was active in regional issues. She relished her role, creating positive relationships with other communities and agencies.
You know, Nancy was the chair of DRCOG and Metro Mayors, and pretty much back to back. And that's tricky stuff. You know, DRCOG, you got 50-something people on the board. Metro Mayors, we're at 39 now. It was pretty close to that when she was the chair. And first of all, to get that many mayors to agree on anything is nearly impossible. But you know, a couple things I really learned from her is how to manage a group of people like that, and try to really focus on the things that bring us together, while at the same time respecting people's differences. And Nancy's pretty artful at that. And both at DRCOG and at the Metro Mayor's Caucus. She was able to do that and manage a group effectively and keep it interesting and keep people engaged and let all of us feel like we're included in the conversation and really in the ultimate decision. She's very good at that.
I've worked with Nancy for many years on regional issues as a Littleton City Council person and as a county commissioner, and I can tell you throughout the entire metro area she is respected and well thought of. And everyone knows she works long hours. She has a long track record of doing what she says she's going to do, putting in the hours, coming to the table with the resources that she needs to move projects forward. She's been just so remarkable working with open space projects, transportation. She's always risen to leadership positions, bringing the group to where we all are moving in the same direction.
Mayor Sharpe was a champion for a number of issues, and during her term, her commitment remained strong to create a business-friendly environment in Greenwood Village. Her pro-business attitude resulted in the location of several corporate headquarters and successful openings of small and mid-sized businesses.
Nancy has certainly been there for the business community in her 17 years. I know when I took this job with the Chamber last April, she was the first to welcome me on board, open the doors of the city to explain how the city works with the business community. She's always been there at any of the events that we've put on to make sure that the people in the business community, the citizens of Greenwood Village, all felt welcomed and knew what was going on in the city and how we could help one another with both economic and personal and professional success. She's just always been there for us and been very open and very welcoming to the business community. We appreciate that a lot.
Mayor Sharpe has been a real champion for the business community. Not only is she an outstanding mayor, she is an outstanding person when it comes to working with our corporate leaders, working with other elected officials, and particularly the one example I'd like to share is the public-private partnerships that have been developed through the years with the multiple trips to Washington, D.C. that Nancy has been on. She is the #1 person the corporate world wants by their side. She knows her way around, she knows the issues, and she's always thoughtful in her decision-making process. I think the wonderful transit-oriented developments and the success of T-REX and the full funding agreements all have a footprint of Nancy Sharpe being involved.
While Mayor Sharpe's role as mayor kept her busy with facilitating consensus on village policy, she never lost appreciation or attention for the work and commitment of village employees. She understood the village's organizational focus for quality of life and customer service and valued her relationships with employees.
When I think about how Nancy conducted herself as mayor during her tenure, you can't help but believe and see how her role with the City of Greenwood Village has made a difference. She's always held customer service as something that, at least on a staff level, we better make sure we're delivering the highest quality customer service possible. We need to anticipate resident problems, we need to respond to resident problems when they do arise, and we need to follow up and make sure that residents are really happy with the outcomes that the city government produces. And Nancy has always been an advocate for looking at problems or issues in a different way to try and produce a better result.
Well, we're going to miss Nancy here at Greenwood Village. For almost 2 decades, we've had the pleasure of working with her, both as council, as mayor, and a member of planning and zoning. And I think the thing we'll miss most about her is what she brings to all of the staff in terms of the relationship that we've developed, the conversations that we've had, and the things that we've worked through to make the right decision for the city and for the city's future. And she's always been focused on that. She's always been focused on how all of the staff is doing and their families. And that's a very personal touch that I think we're going to miss most about her. Although with her going to the county, we'll still have the opportunity to work with her.
For Mayor Nancy Sharpe, her time served in Greenwood Village may have come to an end, but her commitment as a civic leader will continue with her new important role as an Arapahoe County Commissioner. On behalf of the current and past City Councils, employees, and the residents and businesses of Greenwood Village, thank you, Mayor Sharpe, for making a difference and for contributing to preserve a bright future for the city of Greenwood Village.